Okay, my name is Tom Wetmore, and I am Associate General Counsel for the General Conference. And one of my primary areas of responsibility is tax-related issues, and more specifically, tax-exempt organizations and nonprofit organization law. Today, we will be covering some basics on the tax exemption for denominational entities. Some of the basic methods that an organization can use to obtain recognition of exemption under 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code include, the first and most common is to file Form 1023, which is the application for recognition of exemption under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code, which you file directly with the Internal Revenue Service. Also, there's a unique rule that applies only to churches that essentially automatically exempts churches from taxes by operation of law and exempts them from even having to file Form 1023. And finally, the one method that we'll be talking about today is group tax exemption. This is a special IRS approved procedure for closely affiliated entities that are can be organized under a group tax exemption. Most of the Adventist denominational entities are exempt under the group exemption that is maintained by the General Conference. The General Conference maintains a federal group tax exemption that was granted back in 1950 that covers U.S.-based entities of the denomination. Group tax exemptions are provided for under the Internal Revenue Service Procedure Ruling 80-27, which lays out all the framework for applying for and maintaining group tax exemptions. The parent organization, in this case the General Conference, has administrative responsibility for processing and overseeing and confirming exempt status of all the subordinate organizations that are under that ruling. And internally, the administrative responsibility within the denomination is delegated to the North American Division. Some of the basics for administering a group exemption include filing an annual report to the IRS for any changes to the list, and that includes changes of address, changes of name, or new organizations that are coming in, or organizations that are being taken off the list. The Seventh-day Adventist Yearbook is viewed as the official list for the group exemption. It is specifically identified in the exemption letter that we received from the IRS back in 1950. The Office of General Counsel is the official record keeper for the group exemption list. All inquiries and requests for confirmation of exempt status are to be directed to the parent organization, in this case the General Conference. And I must emphasize, do not contact the IRS for a confirmation. They do not maintain the list, we do. For more information, if you're interested, you can go online to the website identified and download IRS publication 4573, and it will explain all the details of group exemptions from the IRS's perspective. Okay, for those denominational entities, where do you go specifically to verify tax-exempt status of an organization? If you are under the church's group tax exemption, you go to the General Conference, Office of General Counsel. The quickest and easiest way is to call my assistant, Maria, at 301-680-6326, and she'll collect the information she needs for preparing a special letter that will be sent back to you, either in electronic form or in the hard copy if that's what you need. We also issue this letter for local churches and schools. And of course, if you're not under the group exemption, your option is to go to the IRS website and use the exempt organization select check to look up the organization on the master list that the IRS maintains. Okay, in order to come under the group exemption, an organization must comply with the denominational status policy that is found at North American Division Working Policy C-47. The alternative to having denominational status is essentially being an independent ministry. So this is the portal through which all organizations are recognized as a part of the denomination within North America. An application along with organizational documents must be submitted to the Secretary of the North American Division. And my office reviews the application and the documents for policy compliance, and then I forward it on to the Secretary to be put on the agenda for the North American Division Executive Committee, which must approve the denominational status before the organization can be recognized as exempt under the group exemption. And very briefly, here is the requirements under NAD Working Policy C-47 that the organizational documents must include a clear statement of the affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church, identifying the purpose that it serves within the denomination, and the corporate membership or constituency must be members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and at least a majority of those must be from entities that are listed in the Seventh-day Adventist Yearbook already. The Board of Directors that is appointed by the corporate membership or constituency, a majority must be members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And finally, the organizational documents must include a provision governing dissolution of the organization that provides that any remaining assets on dissolution must be transferred to an existing denominational organization. So what are the benefits of having denominational status? As we already covered, inclusion under the group exemption and listing in the Seventh-day Adventist Yearbook. It also allows the organization to use the denominationally owned trademarks, such as the name of the church or any other trademarks that we have registered. It also allows for the option to participate in church employee benefit plans, such as the healthcare plan and the retirement plan. And coverage by insurance provided through Adventist Risk Management. And finally, it brings the organization within the audit responsibilities of the General Conference Auditing Service. So you might ask, can a denominational organization apply directly to the IRS for a separate exemption letter? The answer is yes, but must still meet the requirements of NAD Working Policy C-47. And my office must be notified so that we can specifically exclude that organization from the group exemption list. And of course, that puts you into the first option we mentioned earlier, that you have to file directly with the IRS, Form 1023, where you'll have to meet all the requirements the IRS outlines. IRS does not allow recognition under both methods. That's why we have to be notified so that we can take the organization off the group exemption list if it's already there. And for any organization that is applying for denominational status that already has a letter, we need to be notified so that we don't inadvertently put them under the group exemption. The IRS's rule is that the lasting time controls, so that if we notify the IRS that the organization is under the group exemption, then they will cancel the individual letter.